Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and I'm not going to do a retcon video today. I want to do a different video about lore anyway, and it's the lore of the Thousand Suns and why I like them so much. Now, when it comes to picking a faction, there's many different reasons to like a faction. There is so many. I like the Eldari because I've always been a big fan of elves. Any fantasy game I play, I always play as an elf first. Skyrim, World of Warcraft, all of them. So, and even when I play fantasy, I played Dark Elves for a long time. So, of course, I like the elves. Now, when it comes to, let's say, I like Wild West Exodus, I like the Warrior Nations, and I like the Union because of their models. I love the models of the Warrior Nations, but I like the lore of the Union, especially Ulysses S. Grant and what he did to, and his lore. So, when it comes to the Thousand Suns, it's not the lore that, I mean, this is a lore video, but it's not the lore that actually attracts me to them. It's their personality. They have one of the most human personality traits I've seen in any 40k faction. And Horus Heresy, to be fact. Now, if you read the old 40 Horus Heresy books, you'll learn that the Thousand Suns were kind of good guys. They weren't evil, they weren't bad. They were absolutely loyal to the Emperor. And they always did what they thought was right. They didn't turn against the Emperor out of spite. They didn't do it out of malice, like the other Primarchs and the other traitor legions. They kind of turned because they had to. They had very little choice. Now, and that's where we see this, and this is what makes them so good. Now, if we begin at the start of a Horus Heresy, this is when we see it happen first. Horus gets stabbed with a lair blade, and of course Erebus decides to do this big ritual to save his life rather than letting him die. And so Horus falls back into this stupor, this dream state, and he sees the future. And he sees the future of all the loyalist Primarchs up in statues, being praised as gods. The Emperor's a god, and he's like hanging about, the Emperor doesn't want this. What is this? And who he believes is Sejanus is saying, this is the future that the Emperor wants. This is the future you're going to have. And of course Horus goes, wait, where's my statue? Where's Perturavu's statue? Where's all the other statue? Why is it just these brothers are mine and no one else? And of course Sejanus says, oh, that's because you've forgotten and you're not loved anymore, and he didn't care for you anyway, you were to be got rid of. And he literally lies his ass off. But Sejanus, of course, was one of Horus's closest sons, and so he really takes this to heart. However, Magnus turns up. And Magnus goes, hey, that's not Sejanus, that is Erebus. And Horus goes, no, it's not, it's Sejanus. And Magnus shows him that it's Erebus, and that Erebus has been lying to him. Well, not lying, but just saying a future that could exist. And of course Magnus is saying, this is just a future that could exist, but isn't necessarily a future that will exist. And he basically says, you've got to choose who you're going to believe. You can believe me, your brother, or you can trust Erebus. And of course Horus sided with Erebus. Now, this is the first time we see this trait that the Thousand Suns have. It's not the last time either, this is the first time. Which is, they will do what they think is right, and it always backfires. And I don't know anyone who's never been in this situation when you've done what what was right, but it's backfired horribly on you. It's gone completely wrong, but you did the right thing. You did exactly what was meant to be done, and you did it for the right reasons. You didn't do it for any other reason, but you did it for the right reasons. And this is what the Thousand Suns do. They do things for the right reason, and it backfires horribly on them all the time. As we can see with the Webway War. Of course, Magnus wants to tell the Emperor about Horus's betrayal. And, okay, this is not a Magnus did nothing wrong video, okay? Magnus messed up a big way. But he did it with the best intentions. He went to the Emperor, but he destroyed the Webway portal and obviously allowed the demonic invasion. So, again, all his intentions were good. He was there to warn the Emperor about Horus, but it went wrong. Yes, he could have, there's many ways he could have done it, but he went that way. He could have flown there. Actually, I don't think he could have flown there because Horus was watching him and Horus didn't trust him. So maybe the warp was the only way he could do it. However, again, best intentions, did what he needed to do for the right reasons, and it backfired on him horribly. Then, of course, we have the rubric of Ahriman. The rubric of Ahriman is what turned all the Thousand Sons to dust. However, he didn't do it to turn all the Thousand Sons to dust. That wasn't his end game. His end game, the rubric of Ahriman, was to cure the flesh change. And that was it. And of course, he cast the rubric of Ahriman, and it went wrong. And he damned all his brothers. He damned everyone to turn into dust. And there you go. And the reason why, of course, Magnus had to fall to Zinj was because Zinj promised him he could save his sons. And then once again, he did it with the best intentions. And this is what I like about the Thousand Sons. You can see what they do, and it's always with their best intentions. He didn't fight against the Space Wolves because he thought that would be the best way. He would think that, the Space Wolves wouldn't kill him, that he didn't want any more bloodshed with his brothers. But of course, that went wrong as well. And I tell you what, this is why I like the Thousand Sons. I think this is what makes them so fantastic. And that's just so much of why I like the Thousand Sons. And here's the thing. When it comes to the Thousand Sons, and you see these traits, these personality traits, and sometimes the law is not that well written, and you can say, it's not that good. But it's this character trait that they have, that they always try to do the right thing. They try to be the good guys. They've always tried to be the good guys. They always try to do the right thing. Even when Lorgar was turning against the Emperor, Magnus tried his best to stop that happening. He's like, don't do this. You know the Chaos Gods aren't good for you. He tried to stop Lorgar all the way up until the point where he was going to send. He knew the Ariel Kutau and into the Eye of Terror to get possessed. Horus was trying his best to stop that from Magnus, was trying his best to stop that from happening. He was trying to stop Lorgar falling entirely to chaos. He knew what would happen. He's like, but again, it backfired on him entirely. It did. And this is why, like I said, and you can see this in so much of the lore of Magnus, that he'll do what he thinks is right to stop more bloodshed. He's almost like a pacifist in almost every situation when it came to the Civil War. He was trying his best to stop bloodshed. He's trying his best to stop any fighting between the legions. But it always backfired on him. It always got worse, and if he had actually done nothing at all. And finally, his biggest mistake, again, purely good intentions, was that the Emperor said to him, look, I can solve you, I can fix you, but you need, and I can give you a brand new legion, but you need to get rid of your old legion. That needs to go, but I can give you a brand new legion. And it's because of Magnus being, he's like a good guy, to be honest with you, deciding to stick with his sons and saying, no, I cannot give up on them, I have to cure them. He ended up going against the Emperor entirely. That was because the Emperor said, no, I can't have it any other way. And of course, Magnus said he couldn't have it any other way. And that was it. And this is what made it, again, I love the Thousand Sons for this. I love Magnus for this. This is what I really do enjoy talking about the Thousand Sons, because they have this trait. And I've not seen it with any other legion. I know people say, look, salamanders are the good guys, but I reckon if the Thousand Sons never turned, they would be the good guys of the Imperial. They would be the nicer than the salamanders. They would it always seemed that they tried their best to find a peaceful route rather than a all-out war route. Mind you, they kind of had to as well, being one of the smallest legions, that they couldn't really afford a lot of deaths, and of course with the flesh change as well, which was killing them too. So peace was probably the best option for them, so he had to be the good guy, and had to be the one that didn't go out of his way to get started with fights. Anyway, that's why I love the Thousand Sons. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Links down below for Raining Games, my comics, my merchandise as well. The comics and artwork all done by me, by the way, no one else. Even the writing's done by me as well. And the Forbidden Planet as well, like comics. And I'll see you all again soon. I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye.